Good morning, good morning. Coming out into the garden this morning, looking at my blooms. Look at that. Aloe rupitus. This is, I think, the second year this one has bloomed. My coral aloe, full bloom. My salvia is coming back. Clip it way back in the winter and it comes back in the spring. My calandra is finally taking in this spot. I've given cuttings to everybody in the neighborhood and I'm the one that doesn't have blooming plant. Blooms finished on my crassula. Some of them I go and I cut these dead ones off, but if you leave them long enough, they just fall off because this thing was covered in blooms. And the Forbia is crown of thorns. This thing is going nuts. Cutting from a neighbor. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? It's such a pretty plant because it blooms all year round. And then, of course, the agave garden. It's getting kind of empty in there now because everything has bloomed out. But the blue glow is glowing in the sun today. Glowing, glowing in the sun. Look at the colors. Oh, these plants are so pretty. How could I even think about not planting another one? That's the one that bloomed out last year. And I cut the stalk off. It's still going. Spiders are out in force, obviously. This is the one that bloomed out 3 years ago. I can't even believe it. You can't even see where I cut the stalk off. It's just all pups. I kind of almost feel like at this point I should just leave it and see what happens. There's my wisteria. It's hard to see the plant. It blooms so beautiful. Oh, my little lavender over there needs water. Nothing else needs water, and you plant a plant that needs water right in the middle of a bunch of plants that don't need water. This is my the sedum. Can't think what they call it right now. It's those pretty pinky, peachy blooms. And then the Dudleya is going nuts. The flowers haven't opened yet. What else is in bloom out here? Puntia. It's forming the buds. And I planted some spring flowers. I definitely have lots of buds on my cactus, but I haven't seen them blooming yet. A few other little kalanchoes and my little springy flowers, my little pansies. Aren't they cute? I just love pansies. And this lavender scallops, they're just finally opening up. Gosh, they take a while to open, but that pink flower is so beautiful. And then my dicea, there's two back to back, and they all each send up a bloom. And I love that plant. What else is in bloom over here? My mahogany. That's been in bloom almost all winter. I really should cut those off, but it's hard to. It's hard to cut them off. And nothing in, oh, there's a new flower. Now that's what the wisteria plant looks like. It's such a beaut. And that's the post-winter update of my succulent garden. Finally getting some height on girth on this aloe Hercules, and it's got a bend in the stem, so I planted it so it would upright itself, but I think I maybe, it did what it did. It did what it did. These Marlothi and the Ferox, I have one of each, and they started in 4-inch pots, and now they're, well, as you can see, big, 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 big. Big, 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 big. Wilma's doing good over there. Needle cactus. This is a hot mess in here. All the irrigation tubes are showing because things have gotten dug up and moved around. This is where that big agave perii was. But those pups need to be removed. That's way too many pups. Well, here's the back side of that puppy. And then I've got to thin that out this year. I've never seen one of these bloom out. Do they bloom out? Never seen one bloom out. Quadricolor. Okay, that's all I got. That's all I got.